Hello there and welcome to the program. This is Energy and You, a show that brings you weekly developments in Nigeria's energy sector with a focus on NNPC Limited. I'm Egusa Igumbo. Our major story tonight: NNPC Limited confirms the remittance of 10 trillion naira to the federal government at a meeting with federal lawmakers. It says the oil benchmark of 2.06 million barrels per day in the 2025 budget is realistic. Details of these and other stories in a moment. Please join us again. Welcome again to the program. We begin on a tragic note tonight with heartfelt condolences from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to victims of Saturday's tragic petrol tanker explosion in Niger State. This devastating incident claimed dozens of lives while attempting to scoop fuel from a fallen tanker. Many others sustained varying degrees of injuries. NNPC Limited has paid a sympathy visit to some of the victims in the hospital.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited extends its heartfelt condolences to the victims of the tragic petrol tanker explosion that occurred at Diko Maje Junction along the Abuja-Kaduna Road in Gurara local government area of Niger State on Saturday. This devastating incident claimed the lives of several individuals who were attempting to scoop fuel from a falling tanker, while many others sustained varying degrees of injuries. During a condolence visit to the General Hospital in Sabon Wuse, Niger State, NNPC Limited's Executive Vice President Downstream, Mr. Isiaku Abdullahi, expressed deep sorrow over the loss of lives. He offered prayers for the peaceful repose of the departed souls and wished the injured a swift and full recovery. Mr. Abdullahi also urged the public to exercise extreme caution and avoid approaching falling petrol tankers to prevent such heartbreaking tragedies in the future.
We are here to express our sympathy for the truck fire explosion that happened in Diko Junction of Suleja, Niger State. For us, safety is key to all Nigerians. This kind of incidents has been recurring in different parts of this country. We advise Nigerians to take care of themselves, including their wards. When such inflammatory incident happen, people should get out of this kind of venues because it has its own effect. And the effect, as we can see, is unfortunate.
Meanwhile, the Honorable Minister of State, Petroleum Resources Oil, Senator Heineken Lokobiri, has expressed profound sympathy with the government and people of Niger State following the tragic explosion of a petrol-laden tanker at Diko Junction along the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. The unfortunate incident, which resulted in the loss of lives and left several others injured, has been described as a heartbreaking tragedy by the minister. Senator Lukobiri extended his heartfelt condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones in the explosion. I am deeply saddened by this tragic event, and my thoughts and prayers are with the bereaved families. May the souls of the departed find eternal rest, and may God grant their families the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. The minister also prayed for the speedy recovery of those who sustained injuries in the accident.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has remitted 10 trillion naira to the federal government, making it the highest taxpayer in the country. It's also the only company in Nigeria that publishes 100% of its account statements annually. That's according to the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mr. Mele Kyari, during his presentation to the National Assembly Joint Committee on Finance on the company's 2024 revenue performance and its projections for 2025.
Mr. Kyari, who was eloquent in his presentation, also called for a forensic audit of the funds spent by NNPC on fuel price stabilization and ensuring uninterrupted petrol supply between January and September 2024. He added that financial reconciliation was currently ongoing with relevant agencies on amounts spent in carrying out the role of supplier of last resort on behalf of the federal government.
The PIS said that NNPC is a supplier of last resort to the Federation. It said that NNPC must continue to provide energy security for the country at a cost to the Federation. So the law is very, very clear. We have published, including our 2023 financials, it's in the space, it's posted in our web page, and we'll post our 2024 budget, which includes the turnover, the taxes that we have paid, and every transaction that we have done in the company is in public space, and we're not hiding anything. We are complete. Probably we are the only company, let me put this straight, we are the only company that publishes 100% of its books of accounts. No company does this. People play around with it, and Chairman FRS is here. No company does it, and we challenge any company to come out and post their total books of accounts as we have published our own. No company does this. And we are very proud of this as NNPC, and this is a requirement that we committed ourselves because we are a partner company to the global EITI, which requires that company must publish 100% of their book of accounts and their financial statement. Nobody does this. People publish one page. You don't have the whole story. It's just a summary. We have 100%, including the turnover at the end.
Speaking further on the company's remittances into the federal government's account, he explained that NNPC Limited, under the PIA, is no longer required to pay monies directly into government coffers as it pays its tax obligations to the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), royalty fees to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC), and dividends to its shareholders, the Ministry of Finance Incorporated and Ministry of Petroleum.
To be very specific, Mr. Chairman, up to September 2025, as you call Mr. Chairman, we're a private company, so we do quarterly accounts. And by the end of September, I can confirm to you that NNPC's contribution is 10 trillion naira of revenues to the Federation. This I can give you the breakdown. There are corporate taxes, there are payments to NUPRC for operations, there are assets under management that we are handling for you, that's the PSC assets. There are also indirect taxes collected by us and paid to the FIRS, and also dividends that were paid to shareholders on monthly basis, and also other employee-related taxes and other statutory payments that we make. So we have numbers around this, and I will also make fiscal submission to you on this. NNPC is the highest tax-paying institution in the country, and we are very proud of this. And also the highest payer of royalties to the Federation, and also the highest payer of dividends from any business.
Looking ahead, Kyari stated that the revenue projection for 2025 is in the final stages and assured that the parameters for the year 2025 budget are both realistic and achievable.
We are the dynamic global energy company of choice, steering the course of Nigeria's biggest export industry. With years of commitment, delivering greater value and improving lives, NNPC is transformed to better meet your everyday energy needs as the largest contributor to the Nigerian economy, generating clean, sustainable energy with integrity, excellence, and creating value for all stakeholders.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow, energy for tomorrow. Come on, let's go.
You're watching Energy and You. Now, the ongoing NNPC recruitment exercise has reached its final stage. The process, which started in July 2024, is now at the interview stage, with successful candidates undergoing rigorous assessments. Here's a look at how this process has unfolded so far.
NNPC Limited kick-started its 2024 recruitment drive on July 25th, opening its doors to thousands of applicants nationwide. The initiative aimed to identify and onboard talented individuals across various disciplines to further strengthen the company's workforce and drive operational excellence. The recruitment began with an online application portal that was open to all qualified Nigerians. Tens of thousands of applications poured in from aspiring professionals eager to contribute to NNPC Limited's mandate of energy sustainability and national development. On December 7, 2024, over 45,000 shortlisted candidates sat for the computer-based test CBT in designated centers nationwide. The test was designated to assess technical knowledge, analytical skills, and overall suitability for various roles within the organization. Following the CBT, successful candidates were notified of their advancement to the interview stage. This marks the final phase of the recruitment process, where candidates are assessed based on their skills, professionalism, and alignment with NNPC Limited's values. In a welcome address to the candidates, the GCEO NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, assured prospective hires of a transparent recruitment process in line with the company's commitment to excellence and inclusivity.
Any one of you who join us, just know that we pick the best among you. And nobody will be segregated, nobody will be given undue chance, and nobody will be excluded. This is the only company that does this in this country, the only institution that does this. And I assure you that the outcomes will reflect your performance, and that when you join us, you'll be happy working for this company. For very many of you here, I can tell you that you are going to join a family. And this family is a very, very happy family. And we represent Nigeria. The best of Nigerians work in this company. And you'll be one of them.
The interviews currently ongoing at the headquarters in Abuja focus on a comprehensive evaluation of each candidate. On their assessment of the recruitment process so far, some of the candidates have these to say.
Yeah, I didn't really know anybody. That was why I was skeptical of applying in the first place. So while the process was going and I got the CBT and I passed the CBT and now I'm in an interview, it's still looking like a dream, like, okay, I can't still really believe this is happening. So the whole process was transparent. I didn't really know anyone. They always communicated with me through email, and that was the only way, which I want to believe that was the way they communicated with others too. I would like to say if other companies can, also emulate from how NNPC does their things. Seamless, straightforward, simple, no hassle, no we'll get back to you, this and that. Simple and straight.
I want to appreciate NNPC for bringing up an opportunity like this, of this sort, because for people like myself who would not have an opportunity outside of to get into the organization, this is really something quite commendable. So I'm really grateful that NNPC brought about this initiative to help graduates like myself, who are very many in Nigeria right now, and for giving us a platform to prove ourselves, and then based on merits, give us an opportunity to join the system. So thank you, NNPC.
There was always accreditation from the CBT Center. I wrote in Rivers State, Port Harcourt, and in my center, every single person was attended to. Every person, even those who had issues with one of their bio data not showing up the code and that QI code that they needed to scan. There were people who were there to see to it that they were attended to, regardless of the kind of issues they had. And I'm really grateful to that. Especially for a company like NNPC of this standard, I didn't know that they were going to be this, personal with every single candidate, and I'm really grateful for that.
So far, it's been great. One thing interested me was
during the virtual test, people were of the notion that, oh, it's going to take time so that they can go and do one or two things and all this. But to my surprise, I think the result came out either that night or the next day. 2 days, yeah. So that is as swift as you can think of. It shows that there's transparency and there's credibility. So it's a great one from NNPC.
I would give them a 9.5 over 10 because they really tried. I am truly in awe of everything so far. The process is seamless, and of course, there's going to be a bit of here and there, but overall, I am truly pleased with NNPC team.
From CBT, from the moment we went to our CBT, there's one thing that we kept on hearing, it was that we're already staffs of NNPC. And to be honest, we've been treated very, very much fairly and like we matter. So I want to believe NNPC treats our staff the same way. So everything has been great. The panel, I just finished my interview session and the panel were very, very much friendly. They didn't put like mean faces and they were very understanding, to be honest. They understood based on my CV, the experiences I had, and asked me questions that were relevant to what I did. So it was a very good session, very understanding. I was made to feel at peace. I was asked if I was okay, if I needed water, or if I want to take a break, I can take a break. So I want to believe it was very fair, very fair. And then one recommendation for NNPC is that I think you should continue in this light, being transparent, being fair in all your processes. I think at the end of the day, it's our word of mouth that will be able to say, oh, this is how you do it, and then so thumbs up to NNPC.
As the interview phase continues, NNPC Limited remains focused on selecting the best candidates to join its ranks. The company's leadership has assured that every successful candidate will reflect its vision for a future-focused, globally competitive organization.
Now let's take a look at the progress made in NNPC's ongoing war to end crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism.
The war on crude oil theft rages on, and industry-wide security collaboration to safeguard hydrocarbon infrastructure continues to yield remarkable results. Between the 11th and 17th January 2025, a total of 179 incidents were recorded across the Niger Delta region, thanks to the coordinated efforts of NNPC Limited's Command and Control Center, Tantita Security Agency, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, Maton Engineering Nigeria Limited, Shell Petroleum Development Company Limited, Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas, Oando PLC, and government security agencies. In Bayelsa and Abia states, security forces uncovered illegal pipeline connections and swiftly conducted repairs at Fantuo, Kasama, and Obuzo. The crackdown didn't stop there. Security operatives also dismantled illegal refineries, churning out black market petroleum products. These operations targeted hotspots like Buguma Southeast, Bile, Okoloma, and Carlton Channel in Rivers State, as well as Obuzo and Ukwa in Abia State. The week also revealed hidden storage sites used for illegal activities. In areas such as Buguma Southeast, Okoloma, Obricom, and Ayama in Rivers State, and Oza Uku in Abia State, security forces exposed and destroyed these sites. Unfortunately, acts of sabotage led to several oil spills during the week. A vandalized condensate pipeline at Nwajuloke community in Rivers State and damaged wellheads at Buguma and Bile, also in Rivers State, were among the incidents reported. On the road, security teams intercepted and seized vehicles loaded with stolen crude oil at Ebocha, Rumo Kunoma, and Ahwada in Rivers State, Otukpo in Bayelsa State, and Umritiri in Abia State. On the waterways, Wooden fiber boats packed with stolen crude oil were confiscated at Asa and Bile in Rivers State and Oza West in Abia State. The week's incident spanned various corridors: 90 in the Central Corridor, 70 in the Eastern Corridor, 5 in the Western Corridor, and 14 in deep blue water. A total of 30 suspects were arrested and handed over to government security agencies for further investigation. For NNPC Limited, the resolve remains unshaken. The fight against crude oil theft will continue until the menace is eradicated for good.
Well, before we go, here's a summary of some trending international energy news for the week. Oil prices fell on Monday, hours before Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th U.S. president. The price fell amid expectations that Trump could relax Russia energy curbs for an accord on the Ukraine war. Brent crude futures dropped 28 cents to $80.51 a barrel after closing down 0.62% in the previous session. 6 liquefied natural gas cargoes on course to Asia have been diverted to Europe this month because of high European prices and weak Asian demand. The diverted cargoes could help additional European demand as countries seek to replace Russian piped gas supply after the Ukraine transit deal expired on January 1. This comes as weather forecast points to lower temperatures in northwest Europe. China's crude oil imports from top supplier Russia were up 1% in 2024 to a record high versus 2023, while purchases from Saudi Arabia dropped 9% according to data as refiners chased discounted Russian supplies to cope with weakened margins. Volumes from Russia, including pipeline and seaborne supplies, amounted to 108.5 million metric tons, equivalent to 2.17 million barrels per day. Libya needs between $3 and $4 billion to reach an oil production rate of 1.6 million barrels per day. A new license bidding round is expected to be approved by the cabinet before the end of January. Acting Oil and Gas Minister Khalifa Abdul Sadek said the Libyan economy heavily relies on oil, accounting for more than 95% of its economic outputs. Indonesia will rely more on private investors for its planned 71 gigawatt expansion in power capacity over the next decade, with the government to focus on transmission for renewable generation. That's according to the country's energy minister. Balil Lahadalia said the state utility 2025 to 2034 power supply plan will include 71 gigawatt of new power capacity and 48,000 circuit kilometers of transmission lines. And that's the show tonight. Thanks as always for joining us. If you missed any part of the show or previous episodes, you can catch up by scanning the QR code on your screen now. And do remember to follow us on all our social media handles to get updates of all the activities of NNPC Limited. Once again, our heartfelt condolences to the victims of Saturday's tanker explosion in Niger State. Please stay safe. I'm Elgosa Egumbo. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again next time.